Before we get started, let's just say this video is a tribute to all the 90s babies out there. We're going to be talking about the much confusing yet beautifully made prequel to the Toy Story franchise. Yes, hold on to your spacesuits and bubble helmets because we're blasting off into Lightyear. Firstly, Lightyear was destined for greatness, or so we thought. The movie itself had a delightful assortment of characters that gave our nostalgia a run for its money. But among the reminiscence, flashy action, and cool dialogues, the movie didn't actually do so hot. Probably the biggest head scratcher for us was its disregard for the famous Pixar Universe Theory. Come on and huddle up, let's delve into a critical theory by John Negroni. The guy basically mentions how there is supposed to be a timeline to all the Pixar films, starting with The Good Dinosaur and ending with the beloved Monster Inc. franchise. It effectively ties in all the movies into points and transitions while being focused on saying, hey, all of this makes sense as a timeline, just trust me. And we sorta did, well, until Buzz showed up with his standalone title. The movie has references in it that don't make sense when talking about the timeline, with Bernie from WALL-E, Scream canisters from Monsters Inc., and the Castle Cakes from Onward. See, all these three movies either exist in the future or the past of the Toy Story timeline, but their Easter eggs are found collectively in Lightyear, which just wants us to pull out our hair and call for a timeout. Secondly, does Lightyear itself fit in the Pixar Universe Theory? Short answer, nope. Lightyear doesn't align with the Pixar Universe Theory, and it actually generates a lot more concerns about the theory and its history, as it's unclear whether or not it's a movie that comes after Toy Story in the theory's timeline, such as Up, Inside Out, and Coco. The more we talk about it, the more our brains get closer to popping like confetti. If the original Toy Story movie proved anything, it was that Pixar has explored such a wide range of characters and tales in its films that trying to force them all into a single universe timeline is a bit of a stretch. Moving on to some more backstory on Lightyear itself. Due to its dual nature as a prequel and a spin-off-y vibe of the Toy Story films, Buzz Lightyear's place in the franchise's canon was something to think about. We bet the directors and writers butted their heads in the years leading up to the film's release. A spicy detail in that, in the opening card for the film, it was mentioned that Andy had received a Buzz Lightyear toy for his birthday in 1995 because the film was his all-time favorite and he had watched it to celebrate the happy occasion. Since Andy is seen to have gotten a lot of Buzz Lightyear merchandise for his birthday in 1995, you could say that Lightyear takes place before the events of Toy Story film. Lightyear serves as a coming-of-age story of Buzz Lightyear and how he, in his neon green suit of justice, travels to a new planet in search of sustenance. Our chubby-chinned hero had the best of intentions at heart, but this wasn't going to stop Emperor Zurg, from trying to thwart his plans. Sorry, you guys, but we're not risking getting shot in the face by those fearsome ping pong balls of his. Actor Chris Evans and James Brolin both did a fantastic job in revisiting just what makes Buzz tick. The voice acting was phenomenal, and we got goosebumps when Zurg popped up on the screen, donned in his cape, and with that terrible scorn across his face. It was awesome. Sadly, even top-notch acting in gorgeous settings could not put the brakes on the film's impending flop fate. Next, Lightyear may have shot itself in the foot in an attempt to do too much. Despite being touted as a prequel, Lightyear has very few links to the rest of the Toy Story canon. It's unclear how or if Buzz Lightyear of Star Command fits into the established continuity of the Toy Story world. We have to admit that the film reflects a darker tone, a souped-up cast, and contrasting visuals when compared to good old Andy's toy collection. But let's get beyond that because at the end of the day, both of Pixar's Buzz Lightyear origin tales are canon. Lightyear's origin tales upon release was at odds with everything fans had come to know about him over the previous 27 years. Buzz was always touting a space ranger before the movie, and his home was in a colorful society reminiscent of Tomorrowland, rather than on a single planet inhabited by hostile aliens. In contrast to the film, Buzz's rookie team consisted mostly of aliens rather than humans, and our hearts broke a little when we got to know Lightyear Zurg was not based on his cartoon counterpart's design. And what about "No Buzz, I am your father"? No, precisely. Our reaction when we got to know that Zurg, even though a major villain and an emperor, would not be mentioned or acknowledged as Buzz's father at some point in the movie. Come on, Disney. And this was such an iconic moment in the original where the two were duking out at the top of an elevator and the writers sneaked in a Star Wars reference to act as an epic end to the battle. Which also begs the question, why was Zurg even in the movie then? Perhaps because Zurg has established and cemented himself as the main villain. His position in and around Buzz is eternal due to being his archenemy. Father or not. Oh, and yeah, did we mention his design was fashioned from ideas of Darth Vader's costume? Yeah, get the picture now? Now, imagine Darth Vader rolling around with Zurg's gun. Totally should happen in a spin-off. Now, moving on to other news. Lightyear did its best to bring a fan-favorite character back in style and action. For the most part, they got it, but for a lot of reasons, they didn't go full circle. But for the love of Disney, Toy Story, and all the 90s feel-good animations, we'd be happy to give a possible sequel another shot at our love in the near future. No, we certainly don't have an inside scoop on possible Lightyear follow-up movie, or do we? But that's not all happening in the vast, incredible Disney empire. Let's talk about all the other buzz. Pinocchio will soon be reaching out out with his nose to our screens. You heard us. The new live-action adaptation of Disney's 1941 classic Pinocchio will have its world premiere on the 8th of September. The Wooden Marionettes film is set to release in 2022. It stars Tom Hanks and is directed by Robert Zemeckis from a screenplay written by Zemeckis and Chris Weitz. The official description of the movie goes, in an Italian village, the wooden puppet Pinocchio is brought to life by the Blue Fairy and seeks the life of adventure while striving to be a real boy. Excitement. This is definitely a tip of the hat to some of the older fans out there. Disney thundering into the world of card games with one of their own. In a recent press release, Ravensburger, the company in charge of development, revealed Disney Lorcana, a trading card game centered on beloved Disney characters. Said characters shall be from several Disney films and animated series and will be collectively featured in the new trading card game, which will have less competitive and more family-friendly tone. Sheesh, we'd really like some more wholesome games right now, and Disney with their fruity arsenal should be the one to do it. The aesthetic style of the cards is described as a modern storybook, a fusion of digital and hand-drawn elements, and the game will include card variants inspired by established card games. Here's hoping they mush together art styles from Legends of Runeterra, a card game where we're going to shamelessly promote because it has the most stunning art in it, but maybe skip over LOR's nail-biting competitives. If Disney manages to present a feast for the eyes anywhere close to Lord of the Rings, we are going to be sold from day one. Disenchanted, a fitting name for a sequel or a bore recycle. How the world blurs past in a blink of an eye. It's been 14 years since the movie Enchanted. It gripped our hearts with its breathtaking musical performances and riveting story. And now we have Disenchanted, the third installment in the storyline soon coming to Disney Plus to stream. Disney says that the sequel will be set 15 years later after the events of the previous movie, with our titular character, Giselle, having settled down in the suburbs of Monroeville. And we think y'all know too well what happens when the main character tries to settle down in a movie. We're all excited to see Amy Adams become Giselle once more and woo us with her charms and upbeat dialogues. Disenchanted comes out on November 24th, and you bet your bottom dollar we're gonna have popcorn popping and drinks fizzling as we stream it the moment it's available on Disney Plus. And that's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on Buzz and the fountain of beloved childhood characters slowly pouring in again? Excited? Nervous? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.